I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show!
Good morning! Happy NFC Championship Game Wednesday. This is the Anthony Gargano Show. We're brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Go to TrueMark.com/PHLY for the credit union difference. Yes, I cannot wait, man. It's Sunday. Is it here yet? Oh, my God. This is like the big wait. There's something about the anticipation for a game on Sunday. Sunday will be a lot different than what we saw last week. It'll be 38 degrees, overcast, no moisture, right? So no snow. 38 degrees, a little temperate, and it'll be this is it, man. I started to think about this morning, actually last night, about the NFC title games of the past. You know, it is amazing. It's been part of the theme all week long about this franchise, this organization, and how they have become one of the elite franchises of the league. You know, forget about Super Bowls for a second and, you know, counting chips and all that stuff. If you just look at the NFC Championship game and the amount of games, the amount of times that they have been to the NFC final, it's unbelievable. So I wanted to start today off by going through the championship games of the past. Now, most recently, we remember Eagles and Niners. And Eagles-Niners of 2022, right? And how it all started, that run, the road to Kansas City. And remember that game, right? You're coming off the Giants. It was a layup. The Giants had that good year, that anomaly, and then you destroyed them. And it was, all right, Eagles and Niners. It was the showdown. And everybody talked about how good San Francisco was, McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, his rookie year, Mr. Irrelevant, was going to be really dangerous, and oh my God. But quickly, the Eagles took him out of the game, the big hit, and then it was a party. So let's go to the NFC Championship game recently, just a couple years ago, at the Link. There it is. Route City, 31-7. Oh, my. What's our highlight, Andrew? What are we seeing from this game?
Those darn ads.
We're on YouTube here, so we got a couple ads we got to break through.
Right.
So enjoy the graphic.
It's a nice graphic.
That is a good graphic.
Yeah, I like the
gotta
black.
tell you,
It pops off the
I worked
black.
hard to this morning, all right?
that was a fun game, man.
All right, here we go.
BG, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. That was a fun game. That was a party.
What is he doing on here?
Yeah.
I hear Black Gritty talking about McDonald's.
Yeah.
Someone who knows something about McDonald's is probably Black Gritty.
Sorry, we're all messed up here. Here we go.
All right, here we go. Look at that, man. I like that. Man, remember
First down, far side of the field, A.J. Brown for their run game. Second down here is Miles Sanders right up the gut, and a first down. Third and 8, blitz coming. Hurts rolls away, and it's caught for a first down. Low throw, but a good adjustment.
That was a great throw.
Third and 10 here. They back off the blitz. Hurts over the middle, caught, but short of a first down.
He's regressing therapy. He knows he can do it.
Right, look at it. I mean, look.
They need 3.
He was so good.
Runs out of the pocket, looking
Roll,
for it.
directed receiver.
He's got it.
You see him across the board, man, and they're in great shape.
Look at this throw.
Jimmy Ward's in good position. This is just scramble drill.
Right?
They teach the
Yeah,
receivers, if you're
waving,
running horizontal,
and
you're
then
running to the
down.
sideline. When you
That
see your
catch is
quarterback
stupid.
scramble,
That's stupid.
you go
That
deep.
is
You go
stupid.
take the top
Happen.
off
Oh
and
my
run.
God.
What
That's
an
incredible.
unbelievable
Look
catch
at
and
that grab.
adjustment
That
in
was
the
a
air.
pretty question catch,
By
too, if he had
Devontae
caught it
Smith.
or not caught it.
They're
Yeah,
one of the most
I remember.
aggressive teams.
Concentration.
They
in
should have
attempting
chose
fourth downs.
to the
Second
Challenge
goal.
flag. Shannon didn't do it.
Sanders walks in.
And it's
Touchdown,
Miles Sanders.
Eagles.
Now imagine
Wow.
that.
Man, did he dropped off the face of the earth, too.
Yeah, there it was, a big party. And this is what's that, the Brock Purdy hit?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see
Gonna
it.
throw it on first down. Standing
Oh,
over
no,
the middle,
not yet.
George Kittle.
I was heading right after this. This is it.
Right here, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Penalty flag flies. Ayuk
Yeah.
wide open, makes the catch, has a first down.
This is
This
as
is the-
formidable
this is it. You're
defense
at
as there
midfield.
is across the entire league.
This is the
There he
hit.
comes.
Pressure coming.
Boom!
Floating in
Boom!
the air. It is. Is it picked? No. Hit the
And
ground.
Purdy, man.
Yeah,
his
so take a
shoulder,
look
look
here.
at this hit.
This ball is clearly hit. That is an
Oh,
open hand. That is a fumble.
Oh.
After reviewing the play, the ball came out prior to the quarterback's hand going forward. As a result, it was a fumble.
Oh, he's so hyped.
That was amazing, dude. That was it. End of that, Purdy. I actually felt for him. Remember the end? He tried to come in,
Yeah.
and he couldn't even throw the ball.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Look, thinking back to those days where those guys are in hoodies outside. Hoodies. Oh, man.
I
That's
know.
nice weather. I'm
Right.
hoping it's like that Sunday.
Yeah, right.
Because this is not made for humans right now outside.
All right. So before that, because we're going to reverse order.
So this is good for me because you know
Yeah.
me. For reasons unbeknownst to me, I have bad memory. So I remember that game, but I
Right.
was like, I want to bring some
No,
popcorn in. I want to watch these
I
highlights.
remember these things like chapter and verse.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can recite them, right?
Yeah, we're
I
yin and
lived
yang.
them, right?
I know.
I was
I'm
there.
not going to remember any. So
Yeah.
total opposites here.
All right. So then we go back to the Super Bowl year of 2017,
Yeah.
and we remember this party.
This one I do remember.
38-7. And the game's amazing because they go down the field to score, to take the lead.
Mhm.
They're driving.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the
Oof.
Patrick Robinson interception. Man, that was amazing.
Such big leads, but they're a pretty good group on the back end. Handoff is to McKinnon, and he's going to spin and knock down right at the 35-yard line. And with the officials running in, it's enough for a first down. On first down, out of the backfield, Murray. And Latavius Murray is out of bounds with close to another first down
Remember
after
how
going
nervous we
around
were?
Malcolm Jenkins. Cox
Like,
and Tim trying to get
this is
inside.
before we realized the
Play action
magic
from
was in the
Keener.
air.
Well protected. Slings it.
yeah,
Pass
we were
is caught by Thielen.
There's a lot of Case Keenum hype.
Oh my God! It was a ton of Case Keenum hype.
Yeah, I mean, they went right down and
Look at
scored.
this!
Yeah.
Look at this drive.
Like,
They
oh.
go down the field, and I remember going, "Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh my God! How quiet the link was at that moment."
Me and Bro were in second level here this game.
You know,
we
and
were quiet.
they were talking junk all week long.
The
And
panties.
remember, Minnesota, the panties are rocky, and Minnesota was hosting the Super Bowl. So there was all this
Right.
hype around the Vikings
Yeah.
hosting the game at home.
They
And
had
this is right before, or the game right before was the Stephon Diggs catch. Remember that at the end of the game?
This is-
Stephon Diggs, yes.
It was
that
the
was
miracle.
The miracle catch.
Yeah, because the Saints were really good that year. And I remember thinking, oh, I don't want to play the Saints. Minnesota wins, you know.
Torrey Smith, pass incomplete.
And it was Millie. Are they going to
Look
fly her
at-
to Philly?
Oh, yeah, Millie,
Millie
I
and
forgot.
Philly.
Look at this. Look at Nick.
Rolls out to his right. Wide open.
Wide open.
Look, I love
It's
this.
Trey Burton.
These guys sound like big games.
Yes, yes.
Third down and 10. Pass is caught by Diggs along the sideline.
Look, they're
for a first
driving.
down.
Yeah.
Look at them driving, man. Like they're at the 40 right now.
4 men on the rush.
Right?
Keenum
Whoa.
And there it is.
The turning point.
There it was.
Robinson back the other way.
He gets a block.
Looking for a block.
He got hammered making the block.
Robinson for the touchdown.
That was unbelievable. And that was it. That was the game that turned, that was the play that turned the tide. And then after that, it was a party.
Just a glimpse Patrick Robinson was here, but such a pivotal moment in history. Yeah.
You're going to remember him in history.
Yeah.
All right, so now we go back to the Andy era.
This is the chat's blowing up about your hoodie. They want to know what's going on with your hoodie. You're like, whoa, man, what's Cuz wearing? Is that Dom? Is that the Dom?
Let's get a close up on that
hoodie.
Let's get a close up on that one.
Yeah, big Dom hoodie. Good. There he is. That's my man. All right, that's my man, the Dom father, the big Dom hoodie. All right, you got the patch.
Yeah, show the arm patch. Hey.
All right, I had to rep my boy today.
Man.
Right?
That's
my main man,
the
Big Dom.
Art history guys.
Yeah, art history guys are unbelievable.
Yeah, they do good stuff.
Give them if you dig up their website.
It's Art History 101. I think that's what they are on Twitter and Instagram.
I love those guys. They do such great work, and I had to wear it today for my boy. All right. He's the best. He is. I love the guy. I've known him forever since he was Butchie's assistant. Right?
Yeah.
And now he blew up. I'm so happy for him. He's a great dude. He really is.
Yeah.
The stuff that nobody knows about that he's gotten offered.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
It's reality shows, porn films, like all kinds of things. I mean, it's unbelievable. When people, I've offered Big Dom.
Every broadcast, you at least get one glimpse of him.
Yeah.
In every game.
He's the best. He's a great dude.
The white hat always on.
And he really is a great. He's one of the great people.
Big Dom does Dallas.
He's a great dude, man. And he's such a loyal guy, right? He's really Jeffrey Lurie's main guy, and he's a sweetheart. All right, now let's go back to the Andy era. All right, and this. Do you remember this game? This was Jim Johnson's last game.
It is.
Yeah.
Right, so they go on this run.
It's a tough one.
That year, let me just set the scene. That year was the year of the tie in Cincinnati, where there was gale force winds and Donovan threw the ball like 50 times. People thought Andy should get fired, right? It was a real bad year. And then they get hot, right? They get hot, they're on fire, and they go for the playoffs. And here it is. The Steelers are on the other side. We're thinking it's a Pennsylvania Super Bowl, and the Eagles have a real chance to win the game. It's Eagles in Arizona. Let's go to that game.
So this film is from 2009, and it looks like it came out of a time machine. Here we go.
Yeah.
And how would they contain Larry Fitzgerald? Answer, not very well. Right out of the gate, here comes Arizona opening drive, beating Asante Samuel as Fitzgerald, 19 yards, first down. Then running a little, draw play, Edgerrin James. It's a 16-yard pickup on a first down. 3 plays later, Warner looks, zip, Fitzgerald, bang, bang. And he bowls through Brian Dawkins right off the bat. 9-yard touchdown, 7-0 Cardinals.
Yeah, Cardinals run him on a shallow cross. He does the rest after he gets the football in hand. So much stronger than you expect.
Eagles have kicked the field goal at 7-3 and now on 3rd and 10. Donovan McNabb trying to make something happen. And the ball is tipped into the air and doink into the hands of Aaron Francisco. And Francisco could go all the way until he is stripped of the ball by Deshaun Jackson. So turnover, both teams on one play. And I don't know if it was the Iguana, but the Eagles keep the possession. Then David Akers from. He had kicked 20 in 19 straight postseason field goals. But he missed that one. And then J.J. Harrington will flip back to Kurt Warner. Warner to Larry Fitzgerald. He turns around depths, and it's the flea flicker. And the Cardinals lead 14-3.
Yeah, and you young receivers out there, watch.
Kurt's terrific. Yeah. Kurt's terrific. That was a game. The Eagles come back. They make it close, right? And it was, you saw the score, right? Mm-hmm. They make it close. They have a chance. They're driving. And Donovan played well in the second half, kind of brought him into the game, but they couldn't finish it off. So that was a loss. Now we go reverse. We go to, the NFC Championship game. You see it's the 2004 season that leads to the Super Bowl, right? And this was it. This was It was freezing cold. We had a nor'easter on that Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, I remember.
Right? By Sunday morning, the fans are cleaning off the seats at Lincoln Financial Field.
I was at this one.
Yeah, you were here. You remember it.
Yeah.
Michael Vick,
Snow
our
pants.
old buddy, wanted nothing to do with the bitter cold that was in at Lincoln Financial Field that day.
All on the line right now. The NFC Championship game. The Atlanta Falcons, the Philadelphia Eagles. Yours next on Fox. Third down and 7.
This is that crowd. The roar, the din of that crowd.
We're going to try and run for it. Dawkins was his first to get his hands on him. Starting from their own 39. McNabb throws, pretty pass. 14th ranked defense during the regular season with the Atlanta Falcons. On third down over the middle, pass too high.
The wind has on his kicks, and even he is not exactly sure once the ball gets in flight what the wind may do.
Instead, they flip it. Lewis, and a great stop by this defense for Atlanta. Rookie D'Angelo Hall, who crashed down and made the stop. On 4th and 7, Lewis got only 3. And a handoff is to Warwick Dunn.
On the defensive line.
Kids will be like that on the sideline the entire game.
That Falcons team.
Full of fire over there as Vick will put it up. Fires, and the pass is incomplete. That'll be pass interference.
Reverse action in the backfield, but the ball gets held up.
24, defense. Right to the receiver. Automatic first down.
Vick to his right. Looking for room to run. Throws it up for grabs, and the pass incomplete.
Look how they
I have 10 years of
They attacked him. All right, get ready to commercial. They attacked him.
Yeah, man.
Like they
Couldn't breathe.
swarmed him. They wanted nothing to do with it. Nothing to do.
He wanted nothing to do with getting
Right?
hit.
And he was running under the coat. He couldn't wait to get to the sideline. They had the big giant coat.
Yeah.
Right? And he kept running back for the coat.
I love the people on the sidelines who are just on coat duty.
Like, hurry up, put the coat on him. But that was a great victory because what preceded that game were the following 3.
Mm-hmm. We thought we were going to be Buffalo.
0-3 against the Carolina Panthers and Jake DeLano.
We gotta
It was the first year of the Link. You remember the first season of the Link, and the Eagles got hot. They started off slow. They were unstoppable. But this was the story of the receivers. This game, it was the story that predates Terrell Owens, right? And Ricky Manning Jr.
Oh, man.
All right, punking the Eagles receivers.
Yep.
Here are a couple of the lowlights from that game.
3 points.
I'll never forget it. Oh, I thought this was our year. And there it was, the NFC title game, Eagles. And
McNabb dumps it off. Buchalter out of the backfield, down inside the 35. McNabb in trouble and down by Witherspoon. Witherspoon came on a bit of a delay. And
last week, the Packers got made time only once by a defensive lineman, so you have to blitz Donovan.
Smith takes it around the 9. Little pitch. That's Foster. Lost the football. It's picked up by Wiggins. And Wiggins then fell forward. George Foreman and his grill hitting you in the face. On first down now. Pass is caught by Davis. Great hands by Stephen Davis, and he has a first down inside Philadelphia territory. Blitz. 3rd and 2. DeLano fires and has his big receiver, Muhsin Muhammad. He's got a first down inside the 24.
Be charging him a little bit more. You got to question how healthy he is.
Blitz coming. Panthers pick it up. Jump ball. Touchdown. And who is it? Their big man, Muhsin Muhammad.
And that was one of the most disappointing games. You're like, oh my God, it's Carolina. Jake DeLano is going to beat us.
Put up 3 points.
Yes, 3 points. Donovan got hurt that game.
Brutal
threw
watch.
a couple picks. It was brutal. But nothing takes the case when you talk about brutal. The most brutal game in the history of Philadelphia sports was this one right here. In the final game of Veterans Stadium, in the bitter cold, it was the Buccaneers upending the story that they couldn't win in a game where it was under freezing, under 32 degrees.
Points.
Yeah, man. Here it is.
Ooh, look at this.
Brad Johnson. Yeah. That's Eurovicious.
There he is.
You know, that was the worst. Where was Jeremiah Trotter? Remember Levon Kirkland in the middle, right? Who was the safety who from Tennessee that came over? Oh, jeez. And he was hurt in the game. That was one of the worst.
Bishop?
Blaine Bishop, thank you.
Wow.
Blaine, good memory.
Oh, man.
Blaine Bishop was the guy, and on that play, couldn't get over in time. And of course, the Rondé Barber interception, and everybody goes shuffling out of the vet like zombies. Was a tough one, man.
That was Sly was in the house, right? Or no?
Yeah, that was Carolina.
Carolina.
Yeah. Or maybe it was Sly, too. Maybe it could have been that one, too. He opened the vet, and he opened the link, and he closed the vet. Yeah, it was Sly. All right. Before that this is when everyone was in love with number 5, right? Eagles and Rams, the greatest show on turf. You remember that? The Eagles are leading at halftime. This was one of the great games, and you went, oh, my God, we're going to win a Super Bowl.
There is no atmosphere quite like that championship game. It's you and the guys across the field, and there's nobody else left except one other team. Here's the big back. And McNabb fakes to him, dropped the ball, and the Rams have it. Brian Young recovered the fumble.
Just like last week, you look at Donovan McNabb. The ball just came out. He wasn't hit before the ball came out, and it just went to the ground. What?
The tight ends in the backfield. Here's Warner. Lofted an outside touchdown. Rams, Isaac Bruce.
We're down to 50 seconds.
And the Eagles are out of timeout. Here's McNabb.
Yeah.
Touchdown, end zone, and the half runs out. First and 10 Rams.
I mean, the Eagles are really
Warner back to throw. Has a man open. Isaac Bruce. Rams. Here comes the blitz. Warner back to throw it. They picked it up pretty well. The pass is caught. Isaac Bruce.
Forget the scene of Donovan inside the dome. He's watching the celebration. Remember, they were 52 yards from the Super Bowl. There was 4th and 10 at the 48. Last-ditch effort. Couldn't complete. Rams go on to win. The confetti falls. Donovan says he wanted to go out and watch it so that he can visualize himself in the confetti falling.
I like that.
Yeah, that was a heightened game. Well, we're not going to leave you on the losses.
It's amazing that Vermeil, 21 years after he took the Eagles, 21 years later.
It's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
It's a shame he never got the confetti.
Yeah. We're not going to leave you on losses.
Nice.
Because one of the greatest NFC title games, of course, that will go down in Eagles history in lore. Look at that old bird.
Yeah.
Look at that classic bird. This was one of the greatest wins in the history of the franchise. Number 2 behind the Super Bowl. Eagles over the Cowboys. An NFC East title game for the NFC Championship. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh. This is filmed over somebody's TV.
Look at Rookie. There's been so much controversy about it.
I don't think it makes a bit of difference. I think Ron Jaworski summed it up. He told me.
Look at this.
Dallas Blues. Dude, there's all these cutouts on the this is a championship game.
Did they have the Wilbert run in there? Anyway, well, of course, we know Wilbert's run, 42 yards to pay dirt.
Yeah.
Was the fantastic, man. That was
the two things for me are the Wilbert run and the Mo Cheeks final.
Yes,
those two moments as a kid were put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, they were the greatest.
Yeah,
they were the greatest. All right, lots to tell you about. Coming up, we're going to have some fun today, as we always do. All right, we're going to talk to Z Berman and get our locker room report. ERock's going to check in. We got cheap seats tonight, actually at Parks, right after Cousins Corner. So we'll talk to ERock. My man, Frank DeLano, the coach at Haddonfield. He is the teacher at the Manning Passkey Academy. Love Frankie.
Great.
He's going to come on, and he's a great football mind. So I'm going to chop it up with Frankie. And at 10:30, our old buddy, the legend himself, Angelo Cataldi.
He made a pretty bold prediction on this show.
Angelo will answer for his prediction of 5 wins. All right? I love Ange. He's a classic. He's a legend in town. And he's going to join us. When we had him on before the season, Ange predicted 5 wins and Sirianni to be fired.
It was an obnoxious 5-win prediction.
Yes. So Ange will answer for his prediction today.
Love it.
So we got him coming up. Let's talk about our friends and partners. Let's talk about Golden Nugget Jewelers. It's where Philly gets engaged, right on 8th and Chestnut. You got Valentine's Day coming up. You got a big thing, birthdays. There's always a time for Golden Nugget Jewelers, right? Could be your anniversary. Could be Valentine's Day. It could be her birthday. Listen, you could have met that person, that special somebody, and you're looking to get a ring. There's no place better to get the engagement ring than Golden Nugget Jewelers, the largest selection of certified diamonds, the designers for the settings, to Corey Viraggio. You got to check out your own. Go talk to him. He's going to walk you through the process, work within your budget, make you feel great about this big purchase that's going to change your life, and she will melt. Golden Nugget Jewelers, right in the heart of Jewelers Row in Center City, 8th and Chestnut, GoldenNuggetJewelers.com. Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. And let's talk about Rothman, because is your joints aching, your back out of whack, your hands cramping, you're like VG, right? Like you're all banged up, Rothman's got you. At Rothman Orthopedics, practicing specialized care has been their passion for over 50 years. Their mission, high quality, compassionate, affordable care rooted in research. Research leading to new treatments and better outcomes. Each Rothman doctor laser focused on their specialty. Hip, knee, spine, you name it. They got a team for every body part right in your backyard. So you can cross over that defense on the driveway, right? Run your out routes in between the cars. Root for your teams like no other fans in the country. They're Rothman Orthopedics. They specialize in you. And for more than 50 years, Rothman has participated in thousands of groundbreaking research and clinical trials. The goal of advancing knowledge, developing treatments, and improving outcomes for the benefit of their patients. Rothman Orthopedics, specialized in orthopedics and you. Visit RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY to learn more and make an appointment today. Now, let's go to the Locker Room Report, brought to us by Valley Forge Tourism. Valley Forge Tourism, make it Montgomery County. Make it Montgo.
Why not? Great day trips. Great to spend a night out there. I'm a big fan of, as we talk about this, I'm a bigger fan of Valley Forge than I realized. I go out there quite often.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It really is. All right, let's go to our man from the All PHLY Eagles show, and does such a great job. You got to read him. You got to follow him. You got to watch him. He's got it all. Our buddy Zach Berman.
Hey, good morning. Good talking to you guys.
Good morning, Z Berm. How are you, buddy?
Excited for the week ahead, right? So this is, I'm kind of spoiled covering the team in that this is my 13th year covering the team. This is the fourth NFC or the third NFC Championship game during this time. So I know it's not always like this, but they have this is gonna be an interesting week here.
Well, we went through all of the championship games. If you think about it, how amazing it's been since Andy Reid came here in 1999 to turn around the franchise, and it's continued, right? Like NFC title games in 01, 02, 03, 04, 08, right? 17, 22, and now 24. I mean, or 24 season. Yeah. It's just incredible. So I got lots of stuff for you that I want to get to. First, injuries. What are you hearing? Firstly, on Jalen's knee, like we know you talked to him in the post game press conference. We know he's going to play, but what's the knee going to be like?
Well, that's the big question this week, and I think that's what they'll be monitoring throughout the week. So they don't have a full practice today. They just have a walkthrough. So the first time he'll be really out there practicing, if you will be tomorrow. But look, this isn't something to dismiss. Even though he said he's going to play, this is something that is going to affect him. You've seen how Jalen looks when he's compromised with his health. And so I think the big question this week is Jalen's movement ability, and then how does Kellen Moore put a game plan together, taking Jalen's movement into account?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that to me is everything on offense, right? Like we talked about it last week, and I said, look, you got to lean into the run game. Jalen is a part of the run game, and look how effective it was. We know that he needs to move. He needs to move to find throwing lanes and windows, and it's a part of that game. The RPO piece of it is huge. It presents tempo and RPO play action. It's a big part of it.
Yeah, and you think when Jalen went out against Washington the last time they played, Washington was able to bottle up the run. They did a good job limiting Saquon, and really that second half, it's one of the few times this year that Saquon's really been bottled up. Now the Eagles were able to move the ball fairly effectively through the air when the focus was on Saquon and Jalen was out. But if Jalen is not moving well, he's not the same quarterback. It doesn't just limit the running game, but it limits so much of what he does in the passing game. The pass rush, part of what he does well is make off schedule plays. He's not doing, it's harder to make off schedule plays, obviously, if you can't move. So I think this is by and large, like without a doubt to me, the biggest story of the week.
Yeah, I'm with you. The other injury, we know he's going to play, but Quinyon Mitchell, what are you hearing as far as where he's at health wise?
Yeah, optimism as far as Quinyon, but again, that's an injury that it's not a long-term type thing, but if the shoulder or arm's not where it needs to be, that's something else there. So yeah, I've heard optimism that he's going to play. Again, they haven't been on the field yet. They won't be on the field really until tomorrow, but walkthroughs this time of year are as important. They'll give an injury report estimation. I'm expecting Quinyon to go. I would be paying close attention to Isaiah Rodgers too, because you might need Rodgers in there as well.
So Rodgers was a cramp, right? Like on when he got out of the game, it was weird because you thought it was a little bit more serious the way he hopped and he immediately took himself out of the game.
Yeah, I don't believe that one to be serious. I'm in the locker room this afternoon. I'll have a better idea then, but my sense early on is that's not a serious one.
Yeah. I mean, listen, to me, it's all about Mitchell because Mitchell does such a great job covering McLaurin. How scary that Scary Terry, man, has had an amazing year, 15 touchdowns, right? Like, it. And so you need Quinyon out there, both arms.
You're right. And if you look at Quinyon's year, one of the few games that he struggled was that second Washington game. And Jaden Daniels wasn't worried, or I shouldn't say worried, wasn't afraid to challenge him. Terry, who's one of the craftiest wide receivers in the league, was able to get space on him, made a few catches there. So yeah, I mean, this is a tough matchup even when Quinyon's healthy. If Quinyon's not the same, with the way that Washington passing game's rolling right now, it's a major question.
Yeah, I remember the first game, Quinyon completely shut him out.
Yes.
It was Quinyanamo Bay that game, and they had to move McLaurin to the other side, and he caught his only ball for 10 yards. I mean, otherwise, Q pitched shutout.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the game that when I don't want to say put Quinyon on the map, but the way he was able to play on that Thursday night game against Washington was as well as he's played this year.
Yeah. All right. Let's go storylines now. Yeah. All right. For the week. So you're saying walk through today, tomorrow, bitter cold. Are they going to practice outside? Do you know what, did Nick make up his mind yet about tomorrow?
Yeah. So they're at the stadium the next 2 days for practice. So I think you hit it on the head when we spoke Monday and that you don't want them outside in the cold on Wednesday. So the walkthroughs are typically in the indoor, in the bubble, and so they'll be inside today for the walkthrough, and then they'll be at the link tomorrow, at the link Friday for the 2 practices.
That's smart. It's supposed to be more temperate tomorrow and Friday. I mean, again, Jalen doesn't need with guys banged up, right? Like they're used to the cold, right? Like they've been playing in the cold, so I don't think it's necessary. But listen, to be out Friday, that's good. It's work for them. So there's also that kind of creature of habit thing. Offensively, AJ in the pass game, where are they at right now?
Yeah, AJ says he's feeling better with the knee. He thought he was getting open 2 weeks ago when the ball wasn't finding him. He thought last week the conditions kind of makes it a wash, if you will. That's kind of what he said afterwards. AJ looked outstanding when the Eagles played Washington last time. When Pickett was in the game. AJ's clearly dealing with a knee, but I'm expecting a bigger game from AJ. Now, AJ Lattimore have had and Marshawn Lattimore have had some big games over the years, but I'm expecting this to be more of an AJ game than what we've seen the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I'm with you. Defensively, all hail Jalen Carter, who was, such a hero. I love that kid, man. I just think he's so good. Where are they at? We talked about Quinyon, but where are they at defensively? And to me, it's a big Vic game, right? It's a Fangio. Yeah. The fan genius needs to come up. It's the 3rd time now he'll see Daniels. Daniels had much more success in the second game. He wasn't as healthy in the first game. And again, we know what kind of role they're on. You're going up against a backup, and it's a huge deal, right? With Sam Cosmi out, who's their best interior O-lineman, that's going to be a huge matchup for Jalen.
You're absolutely right. And well, first off, with Jalen Carter, one thing you're hearing them talk about, and it's absolutely true, and Fran did a good job breaking this down on our show the other day, was just how smart of a player he is. And I've heard that, speaking to Clinton Hurt, the defensive line coach, speaking to different guys in the locker room, like his football intelligence is extraordinarily high. And you saw the way he set up that sack at the end, and even the 4th down pressure. He had what he called a fillet move there. But really, it's a stunt that they ran in the first Rams game that the Rams were expecting it. Jalen he saved it for the perfect time in terms of faking that stunt. And this is what you hear, is that obviously otherworldly in terms of his talent, but it goes beyond talent with him. With Jayden Daniels, Vic Fangio said yesterday, Jayden is young on the birth certificate, not on film. And I think that was an apt way to put it. I mean, Fangio has been coaching now for 5 decades, said that he's not sure he's seen a rookie quarterback as good as Jayden Daniels. And certainly there's never been a rookie quarterback who's won a Super Bowl. I mean, the Eagles are hoping that stays that way this year. But Jayden's just been on such a roll. Like I said, I thought I'd be going to Detroit this weekend, right? I mean, I literally had to cancel my flight. I did not see Jayden Daniels having that type of game. I did not see the Commanders having that type of game. You don't have to worry about the Eagles defense not taking Washington seriously. They know what this group can do. And then another little subplot too here is, Cliff Kingsbury. The Eagles were interested in Cliff. They spoke to Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury was interested in the Eagles' job. Ultimately, the Eagles went with Kellen Moore. I think there was more of a better mesh in terms of what the Eagles wanted to do in the running game and some of the concepts. Some marrying some of their old concepts with what Kellen Moore was bringing in. But Cliff Kingsbury, what he's done with that Washington offense can not be dismissed, and this is a system that's humming right now. They're getting more production from De'Ami Brown than they did before. Zach Ertz has been. I mean, Zach Ertz looks like the Philly Zach Ertz. So the Eagles, the back seven needs to be strong. I think where the Eagles can win this game on defense, though, is at the line of scrimmage. You mentioned Cosmi's injury. This is the weakest of the offensive lines that the Eagles have seen in the postseason. And so, I mean, Cosme's clearly their best player. To have him gone, this is where you count on Jalen Carter, you count on Milton Williams, you count on Nolan Smith, you count on Josh Sweat. The Eagles need those guys to really set the tempo in this game.
How was that, real quick? Zacchaeus had an injury designation. What's his story, you know?
Good question. I'll find that out today. They're on the practice field today. I'm actually at 10 a.m. I'm on a Washington podcast. I'll get more information then too. But yeah, I mean, Zacchaeus, you saw what he did last game, and really that's one thing you look at. I know Sirianni really valued him last year. The Eagles wanted to upgrade that number 3 spot. But Washington chose Zacchaeus over Dotson essentially, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like a good decision on Washington's part.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because they do. Robinson ran it well against the Eagles in the second game. So I mean, they come at you. Their offense is a good offense, and of course, Dan Quinn is a guy that's just going to go for it. He's just, let's go. They want to win first down. To me, I've been saying it all week. The game will be decided on first down. Vic has to win first down over Kingsbury.
Interesting. That's a good way of framing it, because you are right about first down. I've been thinking a lot about fourth down. I mean, Washington's as successful as of any team in the NFL in fourth down conversions. I was looking it up today. I'm going to have a piece later. They have 15 touchdowns this season on drives when they've converted. When they've converted fourth downs. So yeah, first downs are critical here. But I even asked Vic yesterday, does he approach third down differently, knowing what this team can do on fourth down? And he said sometimes, yeah, because this is a team that if they're in 4th and 2, they're in 4th and 3, they're going to go for it. If they're on, if they're in the red zone, they have a fourth down, they're going to go for it. And with what Jaden can do with his legs, it really changes things. So you saw that. I thought that was a difference in the Detroit game. Obviously, people point to the turnovers, but I thought their ability to extend drives, to finish drives with fourth downs was similarly important.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got to tell you, that to me, the reason why I focus on first down is if it's 3rd and 8, you ain't getting the fourth down, right? They've been doing a great job at getting 4, 5, 6, 7 yards on first down. And that sets up their drive, right? That sets up how you're going to call plays on 3rd down and 4th down. And
that's a good point.
That's kind of been, just in watching them, I'd like to see, I'm going to go back and chart it about all their first down plays and what that has left them. But ultimately, I guess I'll add, go ahead, VG. I know you got a couple things.
Well, first of all, I wanted to give you a shout out. Big Farts Jones in the chat room said his wife bought your book for him on Saturday, and he has blown through it, and he loved every page of it.
That means so much to me. Thank you.
Man. So, hey, BG has said some crazy things this season. He's teased earlier this week that he might be available if they can get to the big game. Do you think that's a reality? Have you heard anything about that?
Yeah. I said, this is something that I would definitely keep your eye on. If the Eagles win on Sunday, getting BG back for the Super Bowl. I've heard the same thing. I think it's a possibility, potentially even a probability, and I think it's something that BG has circled. And we'll see. Obviously, that they have to get by Sunday first, but I think that's certainly within the realm of possibility here.
Hey, you're vibe with Nick. I've turned. I'm a big Nick guy. You've always been a Nick guy. He seems to have these guys laser focused on don't smell yourselves right now. Don't celebrate. We got work to do. Is that coming from him? Is that the mood he's setting?
That is, and really that's been Nick's focus throughout the year. And he spends time early in the week really thinking about his messaging, and he's really harped on this idea that it's boring. It's not. It doesn't make for sexy podcasting or copy but next game, and it seems like a cliche, but this is a team that they've been able to get up. They really haven't had that letdown game. I know you can look to Carolina, where they didn't play as well as they should have played, But even like the Washington game, they played real well in that game. Or they played decently in that game up until the fourth quarter. Nick's done a real good job getting these guys ready each week. There have been changes that they've done schedule wise that I've spoken to players have made a difference. For instance, they used to have victory Mondays. Now they're in Monday for mandatory lift. They have meetings Mondays. Nick's made a change this year. He used to have meetings on Wednesday and Saturday. Now he's doing daily meetings every day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? So there's things behind the scenes Nick's doing to really try to harp on the message. And the players have responded this week. They just need to do it 2 more times.
I feel like, as far as there's always a vibe. Like when you cover a team and you live with a team like you have since all the way back into end of July, what's your vibe?
Yeah, that's a good question because I've felt since the bye that this is a team that the locker room's night and day compared to last year. Last year, I would say it was not a very pleasant place to be, even after wins. And I think it's a much more joyful place this year. And that's another message from Nick. I think it's a confident group. I think what Saquon's brought to them, I think that there's a certain mentality that Vic Fangio has brought to the defense. I think it's not an entitled team, which is an important characterization to make. This is not a team that shows up expecting to win. And I think last year, perhaps entitlement's not the right word, but I thought that was a team that felt they could just flip the switch at any moment, right? And that's not the way this group is. Like this group works. You saw it more during training camp this year. I've talked to players about these Thursday practices being much more intense than they've been in the past. Their schedule's different. They're practicing later in the day. So yeah, if you're looking for a vibe, I think this is a team. It's not an underdog team. It's not like 2017. It's not like 2022 where they're on the rise. This is a team that views itself as a heavyweight, that should view itself as a heavyweight, and they've been acting appropriately.
Yeah, I like your assessment of they're a heavyweight. I think you're right. I think that, they're a battle-tested team. They've been in these postseason. They've been in these playoffs. They're well-suited. It's such an interesting matchup because I think we're all confident. Like everybody comes in and everybody I talk to, fan base is very confident. Yeah. You're going up against a team that's playing with the cliche of house money. And that's a truism, right? Like when you go out, we ball out, man. Nobody's expecting you to win. There's a power in that.
You're right. And the other thing they have going for them too is a hot quarterback. And that's the thing. When you look at the depth charts and you look at the numbers, everything says the Eagles, right? There's a reason why they're 6-point favorites here. They're at home. I know they lost to Washington last time they played. Jalen went down. Another thing that I don't think is being taken into account is C.J. Gardner-Johnson got ejected from that game. I thought the defense really crumbled after C.J. was out. They were more susceptible on the back end. That will make a difference here. But yeah, the Eagles, they're more talented. They've been better throughout the year. I think they were better in the matchups that they played. The question here, and I'm like a broken record because I say it each week, but it's a one-game playoff, and when you have a one-game playoff against a good quarterback, it's like Game 7 against a hot goalie or Game 7 against a really good starting pitcher. Is that if the quarterback's hot and the Eagles have uncharacteristic turnovers, same thing. If Detroit played Washington 7 times, I think Detroit wins that 4-1, right? I think Detroit blows away that series. But one game, Detroit plays uncharacteristically bad. Jaden Daniels is outstanding, and Washington wins. So I think that if there's any reason for concern this week, it's that the Eagles have an injured quarterback and Washington has a hot quarterback.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Nice layers again today. You're going to kill it on the Washington podcast. I hope it's visual. You look good, man.
Yeah. I texted them. I was like, is this video or just audio? They're like, video. I was like, all right. Well, nice. I'm on Anthony's show first, and so and then go right from here to the facility to the PHLY Eagles show at 2:00, back to the facility. So yeah, I'm on camera a lot today. Got to make sure that I got the overcoat on.
Some people in the chat, they said since Big Farts gave you the shout, they want to hear Zach Berman say Big Farts Jones.
Big Farts Jones, I appreciate you buying the book. I appreciate you reading the book. Hey, if you're reading my book cover to cover, I will say whatever name you have, man. I appreciate that.
Spoken like a true author. I love it. I love it. Z Berm, great stuff. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Appreciate it. 2:00.
Yep, 2:00. That's right. All PHLY birds. He's all over it. Make sure we follow him. Obviously, all day long today on PHLY, we got you covered. And tonight we're doing Cousins Corner. And then we'll be live at Parks Casino. And then after us at Parks Casino, the cheap seats. And my man.
It's a fun show.
It's a great show. Yeah. And, it really gives you the pulse of the city, the pulse of the fan base.
Yeah.
And my man ERock is awesome. I love this dude. We got ERock. Let's go to my boy. ERock!
Let's go, Anthony. Happy NFC Championship game week. Dude, by the way, first and foremost, I am loving the Big Dom shirt by R3. You're looking fly, my man. I absolutely love it.
That's my boy. I had a rep for my man. So let me ask you, all right?
Yeah.
First, take me to the snow, all right? Because I caught some social media stuff, which was fabulous. What was that like in the snow, watching that thrilling game? I mean, that was the essence of really being an Eagle fan and Philadelphia football fan.
Listen, I hope social media and the videos did it justice, because I had a couple of friends with me that were kind of new to the whole game day experience thing. And about 3 or 4 times I had to turn to them and say, listen, you're in it right now. Understand the moment that you are in. Understand that people are going to be talking about this particular game for decades to come, like they talk about the snowball, like they talk about Wilbert Montgomery against the Cowboys, like they talk about all of these epic games. I know the kids like to say it was a movie. Oh, yesterday was everything's a no. It was so scenic. It genuinely looked like a movie, and I hope social media and the videos that I took did it justice, because you had to take a step back and look at the snow and look at the crowd going nuts. Look at the sidelines going nuts and feel that energy. They brought out Brian Dawkins. I mean, the Eagles played it exactly to the tunes to pull on the heartstrings of the fans, and the energy was electric.
Yeah, you know what was awesome, too, was like the way the weather played into it, that you were anticipating like a second half. So the game was played the first half without it, right, with better footing. Yeah. And you're like, oh, my God, and here it comes. And then when it came, it was the Delhuge with the big fat flakes.
The broadcast kept hyping it up. It's coming. We're expecting it in the second half. We're expecting it in the second half.
It was a completely different vibe than, like, let's say the Snow Bowl. Because the Snow Bowl was like, it was tough to see.
Yeah.
It was difficult to see through all the snow. And you were soaking wet. And every time you, like, brushed off the top of your hat, there was, like, this much snow laying on top of it. It stuck on the field, but it didn't stick in the stands.
Right.
And so, but it was just very scenic, and the whole vibe and the electricity. I'll never forget that game for the remainder of my life.
ERock, it looked like it looked like you guys were in a snow globe. Like,
yeah,
it just
looked, it did.
Really picturesque.
It really was. You couldn't fake that on a movie set if you tried.
Right.
And just the way it all plays out, right? Like, you know, it looks like they got momentum after the safety, then the Jalen punch out, right? And then the Saquon run, and you're feeling good. They go down the field, they go, all right. But then the 3 and out, and then they drive and the Puka catch, and it all sets up for the big sack by Jalen. I mean, it was thrilling. I mean, that was just great theater.
It was thrilling, and as the snow was coming down, I was looking through the snow at the opposite scoreboard, and I had the same exact feeling that I had at Northwest Stadium the last time the Birds played the Commanders, which was, you're looking at the time, it's 2.5 minutes. They have no timeouts. That doesn't make a difference. They can go and milk the rest of the clock down. They're down by 6, touchdown, extra point, game over. So in that moment, you're like nervous. but at the same time, you're feeling alive because you just have this faith that they'll pull it out. And I remember walking out of Northwest Stadium and all those Commanders fans chirping about the Eagles and head back up to 95 and get out of here, you Philly fans. I remember all of it. And I can't wait to exact our revenge at Lincoln Financial Field on Sunday, dude. It's going to be epic.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Well, I just want to know take us through your day Sunday.
The day Sunday starts with a 3:30 alarm clock. Gates for the parking lots will be open at 8 o'clock, meaning I should be there by 6. Usually takes me about an hour and a half to get down there. The family starts the little family tailgate in F1, and that's kind of our hub, our little family's tailgate. And then I start going off to all the other tailgates and making my way around the parking lots. Dude, it's awesome. It's awesome to see the energy. It's awesome to see all the – because every parking lot's like its own little neighborhood. It's like South Philly, right? Yeah. It's its own little neighborhood. So you got to go visit this neighborhood. You got to go visit that neighborhood. You got to go say hello, eat amazing food, and just get ready for the camaraderie before heading into the stadium.
So when the 3 o'clock start, what time do you go into the link?
I'll probably go in about an hour and a half early because I like to get down, by the end zone, watch warm-ups, see who's there, kind of catch the vibe of the players, kind of see the crowd. There's always people with like signs and stuff. So I always like for social media to go and see other fans and their outfits and their get-ups and their costumes and their style. Dude, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's the best.
ERock, it seems to be now like the Bills Mafia, they jump through tables. It seems like the popular tailgate thing is the bench press. That's like taking off, right?
I saw those guys. I was driving to the game and somebody sent me to the video. They were doing it at Logan Square. They were just getting their pump on. So they take this weight bench and they bring it down there in M-Lot. And they just have a giant competition. There's a crowd of 50 people just watching dudes like the Olympics, just pumping weights and stuff like that, dude. They're getting the swell. They're trying to get swole before they go into the link, in case things, Commanders fan mouth off.
I see more video clips of bench presses at the tailgate.
It's wild though, but only in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Like Bills fans are still jumping through tables. We come up with new bits. We come up with new bits every year. And speaking of coming up with new bits, I mean, doesn't it kind of feel like 2017? Aren't you kind of getting those 2017 vibes? I mean, it was Meek Mill, now it's Gilly the Kid. It was Dreams and Nightmares, now it's Blow the Whistle. I saw Nolan Smith running out of the tunnel with the N'Kobe Dean jersey, and I had a flashback to when Lane Johnson was in the tunnel for the Super Bowl holding up a Jason Peters jersey. I mean, this team is so committed. This team is so dialed in. This team is so playing together. And what was the thing that separated 2017 from any of those NFC Championship games that you just previously showed? The locker room chemistry, the togetherness, the bond that they have. And as much of the cornball as some people make Nick Sirianni be, he is the perfect messenger for that kind of thing, to bring this team together, to unify this team, keep them with a singular focus, keep them connected, and keep them on their way to the damn Super Bowl, because that's where we're going.
Yeah, dude, I think Anthony gets upset when we call him the vibes officer, but he's creating amazing vibes down there.
Who's better at it?
No.
Who is better at it than this cornball who is an offensive coordinator who shaved his head and looked like Britney Spears and chirping at the fans, buckled it down, got this team focused. Listen, if you're a Nick Sirianni hater, which I am not one, but if you're a Nick Sirianni hater, how has he not won you over by now?
Yeah, I was hater number one. He's won me over. He's writing these handwritten letters, sticking them in lockers to everybody. When you read about it, I mean, he's doing everything right this year. You can't complain about Nick at all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I only say that because when you call him chief vibes officer, it kind of puts him in a it diminishes what he is.
But it includes these handwritten letters. It includes all this stuff that brings it all together.
I get it. I'm just talking about more of a.
He's not just a cheerleader,
right? Like it kind of diminishes what he.
Stubbs. I compared him to Garrett Stubbs. He's not Garrett Stubbs.
Yeah, like that's where you got to be.
Yes. Yes.
Part of it is you've done a 180 on Nick.
I've eaten my crow. Yeah.
No, you
admit I was wrong.
Is there?
Hey, that's it.
Is there any party? We're having this conversation, and it's a great one. Maybe it's because I lived through those championship games that we showed earlier, the Carolina, the Tampa, and that I always get nervous. That especially like when I see that we're a favorite, Eagles are a favorite, and I go, oh man, and I still have the boogeyman on my shoulder. Do you have any of that?
I have. I'm glad you brought that up because I was watching all of your NFC Championship games, and I was going through my own little layer of misery, right? Because everyone except the Cowboys one where Wilbur broke it out, I've been at all of those. And I've had my heart broken. I've had my hopes high, and I've had my heart broken. And I've only gotten to see it twice where the birds have gone on. And each one of those times, I was still nervous. I have never been more supremely confident in my life that this Sunday, when the Washington Commanders come back to Lincoln Financial Field, that this team is going to be focused. They are going to have a chip on their shoulder. They remember what happened down in Northwest Stadium. These guys didn't forget. You saw Jalen Carter talking to Jared, right, based upon what he said. Everything that this team feels that they're disrespected on, they answer the bell. I have never been more confident that me and the rest of those Eagles fans, tens of thousands of them, at Lincoln Financial Field are going to take a bath in green confetti when all is said and done and that thing hits double zeros. We're going to the Super Bowl, Ant. Yes. There's no more time. There's no more time to be nervous. It's too late to be scared. We're committed. We're in it. And the football gods, they gave us a wink. They took care of Detroit for us and said, Philadelphia, we're giving this to you. You had your own manufactured buy, but we're giving you home field advantage as the de facto number one. And the road to the Super Bowl goes through you. This gift will not be taken for granted. They will take what's theirs, and we will go to New Orleans.
He's giving me chills.
I know.
Giving me chills.
That's phenomenal. Are we going to get that tonight at the cheap seats?
Dude, I am so excited to do our first ever remote at the cheap seats, and I am honored that it follows immediately Cousins Corner so we can see you there. So if you want something to do tonight, come check out Cousins Corner. Stick around at Parks Casino for the cheap seats. We're inviting the Bet Park social media team on too. We're going to chop it up. We're just going to have a good time, talk our birds, talk our talk our smack, and it's going to be unbelievable. We hope to see you there.
Is there a boxing event at Parks with your other two co-hosts tonight? They're going to go out.
Listen. Sometimes I feel like I got to sit in the middle, but you know what? It's all in good fun. It's all breaking balls, and we have a good time.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's so much fun.
Thank you.
I like it. We'll see you tonight, brother. Great stuff, man. We love you. There he is, ERock. A blast. All right.
It is a gift making it go through Philly. He's right.
It is.
Yeah.
Listen, you're spot on. Coming up, my man, he was just an absolute great football man. I love Frank DeLano. We're going to be talking to Frank. He coaches Haddonfield, teaches the Manning camp. He knows quarterbacks. I want to talk to him about the game, Jalen, Jaden, and the whole thing. So we'll do that. Tell us about a little True Mark, would you, buddy?
I would love to, because society is better when everyone has some financial wits about them and some knowledge. So if you got kids, pay attention, because TrueMark Financial Credit's got a great program called the Greenlight Account. It's totally changing the game, the way kids and parents can interact and teach some fiscal responsibility. Kids can learn how to earn, save, and spend wisely all through this Greenlight app that comes with the Greenlight Account. You can set up a savings goals. You can track their spending. You pay the allowance all right there through the app. Like they can mark off a chore and boom, you send them a couple bucks. And here's the cool part. Each kid gets their own debit card so they can make purchases and learn real world money skills. And, they feel like mini adults, autonomous in a way. And you stay in control of everything from your phone so they can't go wild and buy a house or a car. You get peace of mind. They get the freedom to make smart decisions with their money. It's like coaching your kid through their very own financial game. And for TrueMark Financial members, this cool program's totally free. Now's the perfect time to introduce your kids to the Greenlight program. Get signed up today. Visit TrueMark.com/Greenlight for more information.
All right. I like it. Let's talk about Bet Parks, baby. Again, we'll be at Parks Casino tonight, but make sure to have the Bet Parks Sportsbook online casino app with you over the weekend for this weekend's conference championships. Again, Birds 6-point favorite at home. The total's 47.5. You got a good feel on the total?
I don't.
I think more under.
I would lean. I'm not an under guy, but I kind of lean under.
Yeah, I do too.
I think the Eagles defense is going to come out.
I think I don't think it's a shootout. I don't. I think
both teams are going to try and control the game with the ball, running the ball in possession.
I agree. And then afterwards, hopefully we'll be watching who the Eagles' opponent is. Kansas City or Buffalo. Chiefs 2-point favorite. The total there is the same, 47.5. I
think that could be a shootout.
It could be. But here's the thing. You can't go against Kansas City. As much as I go Bills.
I'm not betting against it.
Like, you can't go against them. Odds to win the big game. $25 of the Birds brings back 46.25. Kansas City 25, 52.50. Buffalo 25 brings back 65. And Washington is the big underdog. 25 brings back 200. So whether your team scores or not, there's always a way to win on the BetParx online casino sportsbook app. Again, get some skin in the game. Also, you can play some blackjack, craps, poker, roulette, hot online slots while you watch the game. Make downtime your fun time. That's right. Play hot online slots. Double down on fourth down. All right? Right on your phone. New users, download the app. Get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. BetParx.com has all the details. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Ohio, Maryland. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, this portion of the program brought to you by Rite Aid, RiteAid.com to find the store and pharmacy nearest you. All right, I want to talk like X's and O's. I love
He was great last time.
So people got to know, like, there's great people. I love the football community in the Delaware Valley. You know, whether it's St. Joe's Prep, Haddonfield, you name it, all of them. I love to promote it. St. Augustine, my kid plays there, right? Like, I love it all. I love our football community. And at the forefront is my man, Coach Frank DeLano, who teaches at the Manning camp. I know he's at school now. Frankie, take us off mute, baby. We got you?
Yeah, I think I'm good, right?
There he is.
Yeah.
There he is.
Hey, we're here. We're live.
What do you say, buddy?
Hey, this is good to talk some ball here on a Wednesday morning. It's not bad. Not a bad thing at all.
So let's just talk about what Nick Sirianni, you've been doing this for a long time. What's Nick Sirianni's, what's going through his mind this whole week?
If you keep it in perspective, it's week 20, right? And I again, it doesn't make for, sexy talk. It doesn't make for bulletin board material, but it is week 20. That's it, period, end of discussion. Everybody knows the ramifications of it. Everyone knows what's at stake. The minute winning creates anxiety. Winning creates anxiety, I think, within buildings. Winning creates anxiety within programs. But if you can just maintain that, its most important game is always what? The next one, right? And I think that's his message. And that's why, when you get into those big moments, your focus here is about, it's more about how you play, not necessarily who you play, if that makes sense. Obviously, there's tendencies. There's 19 games of tape that everybody's going through. There's 2 times that you played each other. So when you just really hyper-focus on attention to detail from within, the big picture should hopefully take care of itself.
Well,
play hard, be good teammates, things like that. That's still the same message. Same message.
Yeah, I love this because this is what coaches, your mindset. It's week 20. I mean, that's it. Like Andy, having spent a lot of time with Andy Reid, I like, it was the biggest shock to me. And I was younger and kind of understanding the mindset. Like when I saw him in March one day, it was like after the Super Bowl in Jacksonville, and I go see him and he was grousing that he was behind schedule because of the Super Bowl. He was grousing about the Super Bowl. And I'm going, he's like, it threw me off schedule. and it crystallized at that moment.
And it is, and we're all creatures of habit. We're all creatures of the what's next mentality. What's next in the week? What's next here? And obviously there's the calendar that also gets you to what's next. But when you start overemphasizing, I'm really going to dig in for something this week. I'm really going to dig in for something this week. Well, now all of a sudden your guys and your team, and your staff and everybody feels, whoa, there's a different sense of preparation. Well, no, it shouldn't be. It's the same field, it's the same game. Obviously, the stakes are different. But especially when you get to that level, you got to enjoy this, right? We talk about this all. Embrace the journey and enjoy embrace the challenge and enjoy the journey. Embrace this. You're one of 4 teams still playing football right now. It doesn't matter what last week looked like, right? It doesn't matter if it was pretty, if it was not. Remember, wins are not fish, right? If they're not big enough, we don't throw them back, right? You take that thing, you survive and you advance and you move on, right? And now you're one of 4 teams. There's 28 other teams in the NFL that are jonesing to be in this spot. So when you step on that field and you step on the logo and the 50 on Sunday, 3:00 on Championship Sunday, look up, man, take it all in, enjoy it, right? It doesn't always happen. And when you start to play that way and you start to, that conveys to your team, and then they start playing tough. And again, they're relentless. They start believing in each other. And that's what you got on the other side right now with the Commanders, right? You got a huge sense of belief, right? And that's a powerful thing.
Hey, Coach, you kind of touched on that, but I wanted to ask you about the chatter. So they got national pundits saying, they can't win like this. It can't happen. They're going to have to find this passing game. How do you handle that even on your level? Because the parents and other people, there's chatter. How do you handle that in the locker room?
If you hyper focus on what everybody says, you're going to be joining them shortly, right? You're going to be right in the stands. You're going to be out of this thing because it doesn't matter what the level is, whether it's high school, whether it's youth football, people criticizing, hey, the play call, why, even in a baseball game, why didn't you bunt there? Why didn't you steal? At the end of the day, you got to, right? I think everybody's goals in life are kind of the same. And you've got to go back to your why. And even just when you're looking at this from a standpoint of why do you do this? You do it to make, and we talked about this last time. And fortunately, when we're talking about Harbaugh, and we're on here with Baldy and not making a difference in people's lives. But coach's motivating factor are the kids and the teammates and the men, in this case, that you're coaching. You don't want to let anybody down. You don't, right? So at the end of the day, if they're from the national standpoint, you're always going to get naysayers. You're always going to get, even in the local community. You just got to stay true and make sure at the end that you are doing everything in your power for your team, your program, your town, your community, and in this case, right, the whole Philadelphia region. Going, hey, we wanting the Birds to get to this championship game, but you just can't. You can't only hyper focus on the outside. You got to control the controllables, and that's your preparation, and that's getting your guys to play hard.
Another aspect of the coaching, which is so interesting, is the game plan. I think people have this mindset that you're game planning up and through kickoff, right? Like up until that, when the game plan's set, right? Today begins the install. They're going to have a walkthrough they'll have a walkthrough today indoors, and then tomorrow we'll have practice at the link. So when you're looking at, take us through that process of the game plan that you spend all day Monday, Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, coming up with the game plan, watching all the film.
Yeah, it's burning the midnight oil for sure. There's no doubt about it. But if you do it each week the same way, right, it's not going to change. But obviously, the thing that you have here now is you have 2 full games of how each other, kind of the punch and counter punch, right? What did people do differently from game 1 to game 2? Right now, you're sitting there, when you're putting your game plan together, you're sitting there going, all right, A, B, and C. If they came out and do this, then we're doing this. If we're doing this, then you're doing this. And that's what drives you nuts, right? Those chasing ghosts sometimes, that what if. What if they do this? What if they do this? And there's that old adage, defend what they do, right? And not what they may do, right? Do what they put on tape over the course of the last 19 games, or you're even looking maybe at their most recent, because right now, from the Commander standpoint, they got it humming offensively. Listen, they still gave up over 500 yards last week, right? They gave up 500 yards. I think it was some 30 first downs, something that is, but the X factor there was five turnovers, right? So you're looking at that, everything from that standpoint. Game, week 16 it was, they're cruising. Eagles scored 33 points, right? They scored 33. So it's the back end of what changed.
And that's with Jalen getting injured too. Jalen being hurt in that game.
Correct. And at the end, the game's in balance, right? You make a play here and there, right? And this conversation could be a moot point, right? You have no idea. But anyway, so that's kind of what you're doing. You're going back and you're hunting. You're trying to find personnel tendencies, formation tendencies, commonalities of, hey, they defended us the same way from the hash, right? In this formation to the boundary, and you're trying to just find out what the wrinkles are going to be and anticipate the wrinkles this time. What did they do against the lines that worked? What did they not do against the lines? What did they do against the Bucs? Hey, what did they do week 7 against a similar structured defense that, that we run? And I think that's also, kind of what you do.
Take your offensive hat off, because I know you're an offensive man, and put your defensive hat on and look and go, all right, Sam Cosmi out, their best interior O-lineman, and I have Jalen Carter, who had the biggest plays against the Rams last week.
Yeah, and you know what they forced, right? And I think there was a great way of attacking protections there, right? They forced at the end there, right, a look of, hey, we got to single you.
Yes.
Right. And that's going to be you get Jalen singled, right? You're going to win
Lights
that.
Out.
You're going to win it. So you're going to have to attack protections, right? You're going to have to find every which way just to get them. The world of the NFL is IDing and where we're sliding people and who's the man side, who's the slide side. Can you get it back? Maybe fitting on the wrong guy, right? So that's what they're doing, right? And as from a defensive standpoint, you're finding as many ways to free up Jalen as you can. Have you ever seen 33? That guy is always in the box, right? He's always in the box. And last week when McVay's doing all their motion deals with Puka and Cup, he's just matching in that insert, right? So it's like, here you go, Cooper, you better make some tackles here. So the way that you're going to attack protection, try to get Jalen freed up here, but then the flip side, right, of that is you have that X factor of Jaden Daniels who can just make things happen, because there's nothing worse, man, when as the saying goes, right, you earn the rush to passer on 3rd and 15, everything's set, everything's covered, you're locked up, and next thing you know, we wiggle out for a 16-yard and a first down. So that's that. And it's not only those extensions of plays, it's also the design runs, right, as well. So it becomes a Swiss Army knife, and that's why Coach Fangio and staff, no doubt about it, and Wash and those guys will have them ready to roll come 3 o'clock on Sunday.
And that's what makes them so dangerous too, because they'll do those design runs on first down. I talk about the importance of what Washington has been successful at is winning first down, because it sets up everything, right? It sets up 3rd and 4, and that sets up if they're going to go for it on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, where they've had such great success.
No doubt. When you can get to stay ahead of the sticks and winning first down, and that's always the point of emphasis. Like, you can look at 2-minute drills that we write before games, kind of like, hey, the keys to the game. It's always win the line of scrimmage and win first down, right? And that is as standard as, for Massimo, for Matt DeLano, for all those guys to the NFL, right? It just is, right? You can get ahead of the sticks. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's guilty of the script. Everybody's got play scripts that are gigantic, but it shrinks when you're in 2nd and long. It shrinks when you're in 3rd and long, right? And now all of a sudden that menu isn't so big, but now you're sitting in 2nd and 3, 3rd, 3rd and 1. You got all kinds of options when it comes to that.
Yeah. A couple of other things. Jalen's knee, right? Mm-hmm. That's a bit of a worry. Now, well, obviously he's going to play, but quarterbacks better than anybody. One of the great tools of Jalen is his legs. And you saw it on display, the 44-yard touchdown run. How big and how do you adapt if he can't move as well as he does?
Yeah, and you saw the difference from merely the run game with when Kenny went in week 16, right? Kind of without a game plan physically in place, right? Like for him. So you're sitting there it's definitely different, because you even saw this game against the Rams where you also have Jalen checking in the good looks, getting them into, that kind of that mid-zone concept that they hit for a touchdown. And, then you had the kind of the read out to one end on the back door, the counter trade, it was going, and then he scores. So there's so many different things, right? There are so many different things that that he brings to the table and with his legs. So yeah, listen, I don't think you're going to, because you have a week to game plan. You have a game plan that kind of is like, hey, this is kind of if he's feeling good at game time. Because listen, adrenaline and 70,000 people and a trip to the Super Bowl, then he's going to feel, I think, it's going to be okay. Come 3:00 on Sunday with the trip to Super Bowl 59 at stake. But you do be very strategic in terms of game plan. You kind of have that A, B, and C, and it's kind of like, hey, what do we do? You don't want to take, you hope that you don't have to take that run game out of that component out, because again, that's what makes Daniels on the other side so dangerous, where you have that run game, but kind of hedge your bets a little bit during the week, right? Really rely on the trainers and medical staff, and honestly rely on your eyes on what you're seeing during the practice as well. If he's shut down all week, you don't know what you're getting on Sunday, right? You got to be able to make sure that he's getting some reps and getting that timing down. Again, it goes focus back on how you play, not who you play.
Yeah, it's so interesting, and like the mind of a play caller, right? And so, and Kellen Moore's done a really good job at adapting, and throughout the whole thing, he adapted his offense. But one of the things that I was curious about was in that game against the Rams on Sunday, you go Barkley, and then you roll him out when his leg is not there, right? Like his knee's not there. And that was a bit of a shocker, right?
It was. Listen, if it works, everyone's like, hey, this is the greatest play call ever. They weren't expecting this. His knee was not good. No one's thinking boot in that scenario. I agree. At the end, you're probably, you're trying to run the football there, clock, right? Making sure you get yourself maybe in a third and manageable. Totally understand. Obviously, as play callers, you always want things back that don't work, right? That just, come on, even if it's perfectly executed, or even if it's just, hey, it's a missed block, you're always going to want something. But no, you're right. You're going to have to submit. You may have to proceed a little bit with caution. You may. Hey, you want him to. What's the number? What is the pitch count, so to speak? You don't want him going over 12 carries, or and that is design runs, or both design runs as well as improvs, because all four quarterbacks right now that are left are all mobile quarterbacks, right? Mahomes isn't like, hey, pick me, run a counter tray with me, but as you see, he can extend plays, right? He buys time, right? He does anything he needs to do to win the football game. And obviously Josh Allen's got the same skill set. That's off the charts. That's a fullback that has wheels that can run you over, run through you, run around you, whatever he wants to do, right? And then you got Jaden, who does the same exact thing. So it's tough. It's tough, but again, the goal is to win the game, and then you got 2 weeks to prepare. Right? You got 2 weeks to rest.
I got to tell you, I love it. Like, here he is, the whiteboard, right? Like, I love the energy. What's funny? Like, there's knowledge, right? And there's wisdom of a coach, but there's also conveying it. And what Frankie's got a great vibe about it. Like that personality. Like you're very charismatic. I think it's an important part of being a coach.
Yeah, I want to sit in this class. Whatever class he's teaching, I just want to sit in it.
Hey, in about a half hour, like I'm on my lunch break here right now, but early in the morning, you can sit and take a 6th grade math test. Come on, I'll join everyone today. Yeah, but no, thank you. I appreciate that. But as we talked about it last time, life's about a couple things, right? Relationships and food, and the more, that's what this game's about. That's what and the more you can connect with people, and we're lucky to do what we do and be able to. And then, hey, who would have thought we were going to be talking about Hicksy after the show, right? Your boy, right? A guy who played for us 100 years ago. That's awesome.
Hey, Coach, you're at the Manning camp with quarterback. Just real quick before you leave, I'd love to get your thoughts on Jaden Daniels, how he's doing this virtual reality training at 1.75 speed, so he's got to make decisions way faster than they happen in life. Is that something you see as in the future of quarterback training?
Yeah. Virtual reality stuff's happening kind of a lot with quarterback play, and actually spent some time out at Colorado State with Coach Norvell 2 years ago, and they were just kind of introducing it. And you put that stuff, and it's real, right? Like you are taking all these mental reps without all the physical standpoint, and you can start going through progressions and reads. it's a nice setup. And again, the more mental stuff that you can get, the quicker you can process. And that's all this is, right? That's all. They're all big if-then statements, right? If this, then this. If this, then this. If we roll here, here we go, right? And you got to let her rip. But no, I think the more you can do that, because listen, we can X and O it here on the board all we want, right? But it's that practical, and there's always practical implication of it, as well as there's only so many reps that you can get in a practice situation. So if you can sit in meetings and virtual reality of it and go through clickers and put it all together, learning happens at all levels and all ways, right? It doesn't matter if you're an elite Division I kid, right? Or if you're a 6-year-older, right? Some people see it. Some people got to actually do it. Some people, you have to kind of just chalk on a chalkboard, so it's always, that's our job as teachers and educators. Doesn't matter if it's Coach Reed, right? If it's Coach Sirianni, Coach Moore, Coach Nuss, you got to convey a message, and they got to figure out how to process it and perform on, in this case, Sunday.
The thing about Daniels is astounding is his calmness.
Yeah,
he's so freaking calm. It's uncanny about how slow the game feels for him, and even just in the huddle. The biggest time that he's played at LSU, you played Georgia, you're playing all these big stadiums, all these people. But my God, the kid never looks frazzled at all.
No, you got to put a mirror under his nose, make sure he's still alive, right? See if there's still a pulse. And it's almost like we get spoiled when sometimes we see like Ranger Suarez on the mound here. You're like, you alive, bud?
Yeah,
we or Cliff Lee at Yankee Stadium, right? Just catching the ball. We're cool. We got this. But that's the buy-in, right? That's the buy-in. That's the belief. Because if that that quarterback who's calling everything out is as calm, right? When there's chaos all around, I kind of equate it to the scene in like Naked Gun, right? Where there's everything's burning up behind him. There's nothing to see here. Right? Well, if you can have that, we're cool. And look, hey, there's John Candy in the first row, right? You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. And that's what the scary part is this week, because the Commanders believe, man, they got a chance, especially with this kid. But the team in green's pretty darn good. And they're well coached, and they are flying. And and it should be a heck of a day for us Eagles fans here in the city.
Frankie, you're the best, buddy. We love it. We love your visits. We'll talk to you before the Super Bowl, hopefully.
Guys, stay well. Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I love it. Coach Frank DeLano, he's a treasure. Haddonfield, he's got that great way about him.
Yeah, his energy. Love it.
It's through the roof. It really is.
Very likable.
Yeah. He's a great dude. And I love talking the X's and O's. I love getting behind the mind. I'm such a nerd.
Wow. Did you know that, Andrew? He likes talking X's and O's.
I had no idea.
No, I'm a loser, a stone loser. Hey, coming up in just a moment, the legends. All right, I love Angelo Cataldi, and again, going back to all the time I got to spend with him. He's a legend in the town. He was on the show. We're going to have some fun with him because he was on the show the beginning of the season. I had him on the preview of the season, and we got his prediction. And his prediction was 5 wins and Sirianni gets fired. All right? So Ants is going to join because Ants does not shy away. All right?
He was close.
So I said to him, dude, you got to come in. You got to come on the show, and you got to talk about it. You got to answer for the prediction. So he'll do that.
They want the chat wants the Game of Thrones shame soundbite when he comes on.
That's fabulous. Let's talk about some of our great partners, like Primos. Yes, Primos. Let's face it. All right, Sunday, big day. You're gonna do the whole spread. You're gonna have family and friends, your buddies, and everybody else, and the extended family. That's what January in Philadelphia is. It's parties on the weekend. So don't flub your watch party. Make sure you got Primos.
A bad food at a watch party is the worst.
They do that. The commercial, Uber Eats commercial.
It's the worst.
And it stinks. Like you go, oh my God, that's what they got.
If I known this was happening, I should have brought my own. Like, hey,
celery sticks and veggie dip.
Right, BYOP, bring your own Primos, right? Like, so make sure you call Primos. You plan ahead. All right, you can do it on Friday. Go to PrimoHoagies.com. Find the nearest Primos near you. Call up. Put your order in. Better to put your order in on Friday, Saturday for the game. This way, you know you're locked in. All right, go through the menu. And then the beauty of the hoagie tray is everyone's favorites, you get them whacked up. Nice big bite-sized pieces with the toothpicks.
You got to whack them.
Yeah, the toothpicks are fantastic. Made, obviously, only with the finest Newman meats and cheeses on that incredibly seeded roll that's baked fresh in store every couple hours that we just absolutely love. That taste is unbelievable. And then don't forget all the pickies. I love the pepperoni and cheese tray, right? You got that. You got all the salads and chips and desserts, cookies and everything else. So you're set up.
Love their salads.
PrimoHoagies.com. I've been telling you about Primo's for 25 years since the original on Rittner Street, 1992. So make it special on Sunday, because Sunday's special. Make it Primo, PrimoHoagies.com. You'll say what I always say. It's not just a hoagie. It's a Primo. Now, the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app has you covered. All right? It's a big one, man. And you got to be there right here on the app. I'm looking it up. I'm on the Bet Parks Casino app right now, the Sportsbook app. Eagles still 6-point favorite.
Love it.
Brad said it may go up to 6.5.
Yeah.
So
grab it.
So 6-point favorite, 47.5 is the total. Yeah, I'm leaning under. I think it's going to be a kind of a tough game.
Yeah.
You could see possessions, the clock moving, right? Saquon's going to run. They're going to try to run it with Daniels and Robinson and keep that kind of the change going. So I could see that being a good, low-scoring game that the Eagles win. Kansas City, the other one, 2-point favorite. That's 47.5 too. Yeah, you and I both see it the same way. I could see more points in the second game.
I think Josh Allen's going to go off, and they're just going to have to match him. Also today, if you want a little action this afternoon, AC Milan, heavy favorites on Bet Parks, minus 186.
Stop. What? AC Milan.
Come on, he's got the Italian flag shirt on. I got to give the boys some love.
You're talking soccer, man. Come on now.
Baby. That's it.
What reality are we in?
That's it. Get some skin in the game. Bet sports. Play the casino games. Blackjack, craps, poker, roulette, all the hot online slots. Make downtime your fun time. New customers, you get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details. All right? And don't forget, Parks Casino and the Sportsbook will be there tonight for Cuz's Corner. The cheap seats will be there. So it'll be a lot of fun over at the Mecca of Entertainment, Parks Casino. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. This portion of the program is brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. TrueMark.com/PHLY to find out the credit union difference today. Now, this is great.
Hey, by the way, the Eagles are favored to win the Super Bowl. Just saying, I'll Bet Parks before we talk to our next guest.
Yes, they are. Whether it's Kansas City or Baltimore, Buffalo, the Eagles are the favorite. And here he is. Since our preseason interview, the great Angelo Cataldi.
First of all, Ant, I have to question your judgment. In the years that I was on radio, if somebody came on and said the dumb stuff I said before the season, he would be on a ban list. I wouldn't be rebooking the guy. What am I going to say now that will have any credibility? 5 wins. 5 wins. They had that before Halloween. What a
shame. Shame.
But can I just say, at the time, they're coming off 6 out of 7 losses. They lost Jason Kelce, Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox. It makes some sense, right? Plus, I figure Sirianni had no answers last year. Little did I know they found a way to keep him completely out of the process and let the coordinators do the job. And here we are with 15 wins. And counting. Boy, in the annals of rotten predictions, that's got to be top. Come on. Especially if they win a Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, it's so much fun, right? And think about, I was thinking of you early on when there was all that turmoil, right? They were 2-2. There was conjecture that maybe Sirianni would be fired at the end of the season. All that talk, the heat was turned up, and all they did was go on that epic kind of win streak.
Wow. And you know what, Ant? There's something to be said for the schedule. Those games right after the bye were kind of easy, and they got the ball rolling. They got a snowball effect. And then wow. When they needed to pass it, they passed it. When he needed to run it, they gave it to Barkley and watched him run for a touchdown. It was I've seen a lot of great Eagles. I did radio for 33 years. I've been retired for 2. I've never seen a guy have a bigger impact in one season than Barkley's had this year. My kids are Giant fans because we grew up in New England and we're going to root for the Patriots, and they can't believe he's this good. This good? How did those Giant guys let him go? And how are they still employed?
It's unbelievable. It played out on national TV, right? On the Hard Knocks. It plays out, and the owner's saying any place but Philadelphia.
Yes. And they let him go to Philadelphia. They go all the way to the NFC Championship game. And those idiots, they were done long ago. And they're still there. That guy. Let me tell you something. John Mara is now running the team, the son of the guy that owned it, Wellington Mara. Whenever you're dealing with the son of somebody who did something great, the son is probably a screw-up. And this guy is all. As long as he's there, the Giants are not going to be a threat.
Well, it's got to be great, though, for us in the sense that Giants and Cowboys have to watch an NFC East, right? NFC Championship game. That's pretty great.
It's pretty awesome is right. And, what you were saying about Daniels is right, Ant. He scares you, man.
Yeah.
He's a rookie.
Yeah.
He's a rookie. They're going to have to deal with him for a decade or more. And he's just amazing. He does so many things well with composure that it scares you. It really does. Even though you should beat the Commanders, you're home. Most of these guys have never been in a game like this. The Eagles have experience there. But it's you're right. I think it's going to be close, and I think the Eagles are going to win.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's like how we're wired. I think going through what we went through, 90s, during the Andy Reid era, where they were so close. And you think about those NFC title games, man, and I still got the haunting, of Tampa and Carolina and even the Super Bowl in Jacksonville kind of in your ear. It's funny. I kind of shoo them away so I can enjoy the moment.
And I was just thinking as I made that prediction that you were just promoting a betting site, and I was going, people right now are probably flooding the site betting on the Commanders because my predicting record this year is not great. At least make some money for yourself. But yeah, you're right. You know what, Ian? I love this stuff, man. I love football more in retirement than I did when I worked. Just because you get to spend more time with it.
Yeah.
And you don't feel, I'm not watching a game now planning a show. I'm watching a game like a fan. And it's just been such a fun ride. And that game Sunday in the snow, top 5.
Right? You understand story and plot and great theater. I mean, just the anticipation of the snow starting to fall in the second half, right? Looking ahead, like they got to move now while the footing's okay. And then all of a sudden it starts to fall and it gets thicker and fluffier as the game goes. I mean, my God, that's incredible.
Let me tell you something. You could write that game. It would be a masterpiece. It would be poetry the way you write, Anthony. To do the game with the snow cascading on the field, swirling. It was, and I'll be honest, when the Rams are down at the 13, I'm already worst case scenario now and going, where would this rank among the worst losses the Eagles ever had? It'd be one of maybe the biggest, because they're favored to win the championship this year. And they're going to blow a 13-point lead in the snow against a team that hadn't done anything all day. That's how close it was.
And all I kept thinking about was, oh my God, it's the script, right? Like, it's the script of sports. It's the LA Fires, right? They didn't have their playoff game. Had to get moved to Arizona, and now they're gonna be down and out, and then come back and win and host the NFC title game in Los Angeles. Fire ravaged LA, and I'm going, oh my God! Like, that's what was going through my mind.
It was a great storyline for them. Fortunately, fortunately, Jalen Carter got through. That guy Kevin Dotson, by the way, wow, he flinched on the false start, which blew their momentum, and then Carter went right by him and crushed Stafford. Dotson, he's kind of had some passive aggressive tweets the last 24 hours. Dotson's taken some heat in LA. He blew the game.
He did. Well,
the right guard, he blew the game.
He blew the game. I got to ask you, because you started covering the Birds during Buddy Ryan. You saw that amazing defense. You saw Jerome Brown, right? What Jalen Carter did on Sunday, because we forget, after the safety, they're driving. He's got the big punch out on Kyron Williams for the fumble. And then he wins the game later on the sack, like you just said. Look, think about Jerome and think about Jalen Carter and give us what you see.
You're right on board with that. This is their best tackles since those great years that Jerome Brown was there. No question about it, because he has such an amazing impact on the game. And I'm not dismissing Fletcher Cox, but this guy takes over games. And he was on the field for almost every snap. And the other thing that's synonymous with Jerome is Jerome didn't always get in the best shape, right? And he still had these great impacts, but they had to kind of push him a little to get him in the shape so he could play a whole game like that. Carter, man, I got that guy in, knowing to sign Barkley. How about Zach Bond and what he's doing? Yes. That's mind-boggling what he's doing. The kids that he brought into the defensive secondary, hopefully Quinyon Mitchell will be able to play Sunday. No, the reason that the Eagles are there, the reason I look like a moron today is because Howie Roseman had maybe the greatest offseason I could ever remember by any GM in any Philadelphia sports team. He brought in so much great talent. He totally changed the mojo of the team.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And you know what's amazing, too, is they're winning with a running game and defense. It goes back. I was thinking about like the whole Ricky Williams in the draft, but this is what was in your mind's eye. Winning with a running back, a running game, run the ball. How many times did we scream with a Monday on WIP? Run the ball, run it, right? Now they run the ball and they play great defense.
This is the best case scenario. You understand Philadelphia, you know the city every bit as well, maybe better than I do. We like hitting and physical football. And that's what a running game is. It's your offensive lineman driving forward. That's what they'd rather do. They don't want to go back to pass block. They want to knock the other guy down. And wow, I mean, this is the perfect scenario. And defense, Vic Fangio, God bless him, where he came from, he took dog crap and turned it into the best defense this year. That is also a miracle. No, it's just, and this is a season created, and it's got to be a parade. Yeah. We got to have a parade.
Yes, it's unbelievable. They couldn't tackle last year. They were a woeful tackling team, and it just flipped on a dime. And now, listen, I got to give Sirianni a ton of credit in that he made sure that they practiced tackling every week. Last year, they didn't do that. This year in practice, they've tackled every week.
That was someone else's idea. I'm sure Sirianni didn't come up with that. Sirianni's role on the team, they call him a CEO. He's the village idiot on the sideline. Right? He's there to look stupid for 3 hours, give the cameras something to look at. All the other things are already done. The offense is totally Kellen Moore. Defense is totally Fangio. Special teams is Michael Clay. and all the decisions on the field have already been done by Jeff Lurie's son, Julian, who does the analytics for the team. So they know every scenario. He just stands there and looks stupid for 3 hours. And then afterwards, in case there's any doubt, he insults our intelligence with his news conference after the game, revealing nothing and telling us stuff he knows is not true. All right? That's his sole role. This guy's got one of the greatest records, Ant, in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
And I know. I would talk to him every week. I have something to base this on. Nothing's happening up here. Nothing. How he's doing it. This will go down as one of the great football miracles of all time, that this guy's got that kind of a record. And when he wins a championship, hopefully this year, that's it. I'm not even appearing on shows like yours anymore. Because clearly I don't have a clue what the hell I'm talking.
I'll tell you one thing. You have not lost your fastball.
Yeah, ask me to come up with 5 names and watch how slow that is. The brain is slowing down. And what happened with that prediction, I think, early sign of dementia. That's what I think happened there.
Well, I gotta say, I thought I was Sirianni hater number 1. I've come around. I'm appreciating him these days. Wow, you're like really dug in on.
What do you appreciate? What's he doing great?
He writes handwritten letters to the players. They seem to like it.
Handwritten letters.
They seem to have an
Can't
attitude
email
where they
them?
like them.
Handwritten letters. And tell the guy about email. It saves him some time. Maybe he could text the players. How many of these players are opening up letters?
That's a lost art for him, writing letters.
I guarantee you. And if you saw those letters, they were grammatically incorrect. There were misspellings. I guarantee you that was all screwed up too.
All right. On your vindication tour. All right. Here we go. The prediction for Sunday. How does the game go and the final score?
Yes, but I want to break a story on your show too in a minute. All right. Because I have a stat that's so amazing. I pray you will use it over the next couple of weeks. Yeah. My prediction for the game, plan accordingly. Eagles 31, Washington 27. They're going to win. This is probably the worst thing I could be doing to the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to win, and I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl, where inevitably they will have to face stupid Andy Reid and the Chiefs. And this leads to my breaking, and this will blow you away, all right? Look, we watch all these games. There isn't a playoff game I've missed in decades. And I watched the Chiefs get all the big calls in every game. Well, some stat guy went back through all the playoff games since 2021. The Chiefs have played in 11 of them, all right? How many games do you think the opponent has got the benefit of the penalties over them? How many games do you think the Chiefs have been called for more penalties than their opponents in those playoff games?
I can only imagine. I mean, what, 2 or 3?
0.
Oh
Never.
God.
Not once. 10 times they got the benefit of more calls, and 1 time, same number of calls.
Wow.
Not one time.
You have that picture? Show Eds the picture. You saw the picture of Mahomes that we did, the AI one?
Oh, the flopper. The flopper.
Yeah, flopper.
That stat is unbelievable.
And the thing is, in the regular season, although I've seen some bad calls benefit them there too, it's been fairly even. The minute they get to the playoffs, they get all the big calls. The Eagles get screwed out of a Super Bowl 2 years ago on a bogus call against Dave Bradbury. The year after that, the Chiefs won on a bogus call against the Niners. This is a scandal, and I'm trying to get the word out to prepare people to get screwed up. And I'll even give you my theory as to why, Ant, because that damn Roger Goodell, he's a money guy. He's all about the ratings and the money. And the reason the Chiefs have been winning the last couple of years, Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift. Look at that horse's ass. I can't stand that guy. I can't stand him. The guy who made Andy Reid seem smart.
Yeah, isn't it possible that they're just less penalized because Andy Reid's got them well disciplined, well coached?
Yeah, that's what it is. Sure, and then he suddenly learned that when he got to KC, right? Because that didn't happen here. No, and the thing is that Reid is such a fraud. You watching these stupid commercials he's doing? Brewski, roo. He's making all these stupid noises. That guy wouldn't say nothing if there wasn't a big check attached to it. He'll cluck like a chicken if you give him $1. All right? Screw him. All right? I'll tell you right now, if it comes down to that Super Bowl, and the Eagles lose on a call, you can visit me in the hospital because I'm going to have a stroke.
If it ends up Chiefs and Eagles, who's got the coaching advantage?
Oh God! Who is this guy, Ann? I don't like it.
That's Violations Greg, baby.
All right, I thought you only employed Italians. When did this?
Hey, I'm Italian.
You are Italian?
I am.
All right, good. Then bleach your beard or something. All right. Bottom line, yeah. All right, you know what? I got to answer that. Reid. That's how much I hate Sirianni.
You're the greatest, brother. I gotta tell you, I love you, man. It's always great talking to you. You just are a barrel of fun, man. We love you, buddy.
Oh, thank you, buddy. And you promoted Primo. Let me just say that is a great hoagie. And I used to go over Walt Whitman Bridge, and there was the cause with a big hoagie in front of it. And you know what I would think if I went over there, Aunt? I'd go, I'll bet he got that one for free. It's a great hoagie. You're right, my friend. And anytime, you know me.
You're the best,
I'm always
buddy.
available. I got nothing to do.
Thanks, brother. You're the best. Angelo Cataldi. What a blast. He knows how to have fun.
Yeah.
You know.
He's so good. He does have the fastball.
Oh, that's fantastic. Time now for our look ahead game balls.
Okay.
All right. So we're brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. All right. I mean, we love it. This is one of our favorites. Game ball brought to you by our friends at Xfinity Mobile. Join the millions who have switched to one of the fastest growing mobile services. All right. What you got? Looking ahead to Sunday.
Ooh.
Looking ahead to Sunday. Who's going to be your key player? Besides the obvious, right? You know.
I'm going to say I'm sticking with a theme this week where I've been loving some special teams. I'm going to say Jake. I'm going to say Jake has a good game.
Maybe, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No missed extra points, maybe 3 field goals.
Okay.
Well, it's going to. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think it's going to be tight. So he'll play a big role. Yeah. No, please, no missed extra. I hate. There's nothing worse than the missed extra point.
Oh.
Because you know what it does? It deflates you. You score a touchdown, and then it deflates you, right? It's no momentum. And then you try to go, okay, well, forget the extra point. We got it again.
Because you're assuming you got 7.
Right. And then you're always in the back of your mind thinking about that point.
You got to chase it.
Right? And you're thinking about it. You either chase it or you're going, oh, my God, if I lose because of the missed extra point, it starts in the minute you miss it, it starts.
Yeah. It's super fun. And it's like you're right down the middle. You're lined up. Easy peasy. I heard the special teams coach saying when he sped up. Like, what are you speeding up? It's an extra point. I get the conditions weren't ideal, but come on.
I think Zach Baun, obviously,
good pick.
I think Carter, obviously, is because of the matchup, is a big thing. But Zach Baun is huge in this game because of what Washington's going to try to do, right? You got Daniels, who's going to move, right? He ran for 81 yards in the second game when he was healthy against the Eagles. They're going to try to run it. They're going to get Robinson involved. Eckler out of the backfield was pretty lethal on a couple plays against Detroit to extend drives, right?
He had a good game.
So that's a concern, right? So the run game, the game out, Eckler out of the backfield, Daniels on the move. I think Zach Baun, it's going to be crucial, especially without N'Kobe, right? He's had such a great year, Zach Bowen, that I think that's going to be a key.
Let me ask you, how important is the containment of the edges? Because I feel like if Carter's getting pressure up the middle, they got to contain Daniels on the edges, right? They got to stay in their lanes.
Yeah, listen, he scares me. I mean, because it's one thing about, you're getting that pressure, but he can move. And you're right. Like the key, these mobile quarterbacks, what did Baldy talk about? The cage rush. Right. Yeah. Right? Rushing them in a cage. You got to surround. You can't lose. And that's what Detroit blitzed them, right, constantly. I kept thinking, like, why are you blitzing all that time, right? Listen, I get being aggressive, but you don't want to blitz this kid all the time. You got to be able to contain and put him in the cage, right? You got to lock him in the cage, and that's going to be a big deal because you're right. Like theoretically, Jalen Carter should dominate up front. There should be a lot of pressure up front.
Yeah,
it's going to be about coming from the edge. He'll try to make guys miss and try to extend plays that way.
Yep.
Jalen Carter is the master lock to that cage.
Yes.
Yeah.
But to his point, it's the edges that you got to protect.
Yep.
Right? Because he's Carter up the.
You've been working on that for a while.
I like.
No, I just thought it. Come on. I literally just
time out for a Rite Aid back in the day moment. This is going to surprise you. I gave it to Andrew today.
I have an inkling of where we're going, and I was a little thrown off with
to change the theme of the NFC title game. Let's do it.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah!
All right, set it up, Andrew.
All right, here we go. So we want to just talk about the juxtaposition, right? I guess you could say that, of two seasons. This season with the Sixers, last night they played the Nuggets. Ooh, not looking good. But on this date last year, there was one Joel Embiid who scored. Oh, that's Get off
the screen, Patrick!
Yeah, Patrick, come on. Who scored 70 points on this day last year.
70 points
Look
on
at
this day. That was the 70 on this day last year. And last night, the Sixers got annihilated in Denver. They gave up, 144? 144. They got completely destroyed.
He's not going to play 70 minutes this month.
No.
It's outrageous.
No. I mean, it's unbelievable. And it's to the point where, I know we're not going to talk about it because of all the Eagles in football.
Oh, we'll have time.
But at some point, just give up the season. I want the pick.
The lack of communication and no transparency is just.
I want the pick,
the
dude.
fans
I got to tell you.
There's too many
Shut
wins.
his ass down.
I agree.
Give me the pick.
Shut everybody down. I feel bad for Maxey.
I feel horrible for Maxey.
I mean,
like, you imagine, like, he's in Denver on a Tuesday night playing his heart out.
Yeah, I think he's going to ask for out at some point. He can't go on like this. He's wasting. He's a talented guy.
You got to get him back to playing.
I know.
I mean, that's it.
I know.
And then Paul George, he's maddening because you expect more out of him, right? I mean, he's a great player, but I mean, I know he only works with the triangle of the big man.
Yeah,
but jeez, I feel bad for Maxey.
Yeah. Because Paul George doesn't really look like he's trying.
No.
Have you seen the picture that's been circulating around the internet right now in Philadelphia of the guy who's riding around on his bike and he has a sign that says 10-9-8 screw Josh Harris?
Yeah.
Great photo.
Yeah.
On the other side, hey, Flyboys are
another win.
They haven't
last night,
lost since Cutter Gauthier came to town.
Yeah,
They're 5-1.
Yeah. That was a nice one again last night against the Red Wings.
Yep.
They win in OT. Hey, as always, thanks for hanging with us. Tomorrow, Dan Orlovsky, Joe Banner, and Baldy.
Wow.
All right. So big one tomorrow.
That's a loaded day.
As we careen towards Sunday in the NFC Championship game. We love you, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
We all silly like the mayor.